Reception, Parker Furniture, The Western Portland, Event Floral, Square Deal Remodeling, Eileen Fisher, Trios Jewelry Studio, Dada Hair, Amenity Shoes, Tavis Designs to Wear, Edros Design and Bruce Books. Now, you know, we have tables on the 4th floor and tables on the 2nd floor now, so if you miss buying the book and after the program you just think, I must have Spirit Rising because I have to see she has incredible photographs. You can go down to the site for my book. So we hope that just makes it easier for you. And also, I hope you're checking out our e-magazine. We're posting photographs because I know some of you have asked about the photographs. So when you open that up, there's pages of photographs from each of the events, plus current information and subscription information. All right, so, okay, patron reception, 2nd floor, our standing microphones, 3 on the main floor, 2 in the balcony, and I'm going to ask you all to shut off any electronic device. And you know, if you have to leave, you know, the exits, just for safety, all exits work, but these take you to the, you know, defense garage. So just, you know, if you want to go home, jump out there. All right, it's now my pleasure to introduce Danielle Richardson. I have to tell you a quick story. So I was invited to be one of the malls. I have trouble with that word, mall, for the Dress for Success fashion show. And it was great fun, great fun. And when you do that, you show up and they do your makeup and your hair. And I love all that. You know, I never passed up an opportunity to be a girl. And so who do I get but this lovely woman who's doing my hair? And she's very professional and she's got everything going. Well, shortly after that, a friend of mine, I said, gee, who does your hair? And she said, oh, Danielle Richardson. At, I think she was with Dada Hair then. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll check it out. So I made the appointment, there's a coupon online, made the appointment, and who is it? It's Danielle. And since that moment, of course, then I had to tell her that she had to be a sponsor for Voices because I was in front of 1,000, mostly women, and I needed help. So it's just been a delight to have Danielle as a sponsor. So let me just tell you a few facts. She's the founder of Dada Hair, which is, she's been one of Portland's top hairstylists for over 30 years. She began her career at 19 with the best-known salon of the 80s and 90s, which was Hickox and Friends. Growing with the company, she served as the education director for 17 years, teaching and overseeing the salon's extensive training program, along with traveling throughout the U.S., Canada, and Europe, studying under some of the industry's biggest leaders. In 2000, she and a fellow stylist opened Fada Salon, and after 12 years, Danielle went solo and she opened Dada Hair. And they are in that historic Charles F. Bird building, you know, right downtown from Burns, which is the black one, and they're up in the penthouse suite. Danielle's personal mantra is a student in life, a teacher of life. She volunteers many hours helping where she can, Dress for Success, Union Gospel, Outside In, Girl Scouts. And most recently, they did the PCRI Dancing with the Stars and a fundraiser hosted at Dada Hair for OPB's Art Week. So please welcome my dear friend, Danielle Richardson.
One thing each day that scares you. That's my favorite quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, and it's on my desk. I look at it every day, and every day I think, what scary thing am I going to do today? Owning a business is not very hard because often each day is very scary. So as I stand up here in front of you, it's actually not the scariest thing that I'm doing today. I actually love standing in front of people. It's been many years since I stood in front of an audience, so please bear with me if I stutter around and I find myself leaning on my notes and trying to find my place, so I'll do my best. The scariest thing actually for me today is tooting my own horn. So that being said, let's get down to business. Hello, my name is Danielle and I'm your new hairdresser. Oh, my daughter wanted me attitude too. So I have mentally made you over as I followed you up the stairs, as we've ridden together in the elevator, as I've sat here as we gathered for the speaker, and as we stood in line waiting to have our books signed. I'm going to read this part because I don't know about you, but sometimes I wake up with the biggest brilliant ideas right top of the morning. So this morning it actually came to me, and so I wrote it down, so I'm going to read it to make sure that I get every essence of it. So, I care about the way you look because the way you look is a reflection of the way you feel, and the way you feel about yourself is the filter through which you experience every waking moment. So your hair speaks for you. It's a nonverbal voice. It can whisper, it can talk, or it can shout saying, "This is who I am." It's your crowning glory. Love yourself, and love yourself enough to invest in you. You are worth it, and so am I. So come visit me at Dada, and let's talk about all the ideas that I have as I've watched you in the audience. So now that that's over, let's talk about Francine. So as you heard, Francine, yes, hey Francine, we kind of refound each other. I was so excited when she came into my salon. We both kind of screamed at each other like, "Oh, it's you," because I was actually too shy to toot my horn that day, and I thought about giving her a card, but then I kind of talked myself out of it. And then she just kind of would pop into my head because she had left such a big impression on me with the few minutes that we shared together that night at Dress for Success. So when she started talking to me about the sponsorship at Voices, I jumped on the opportunity immediately. Actually, at that time, I really didn't know anything about Voices. I'd never heard of Voices. But I knew that if Francine was involved in it, then it had to be great. And so I've now been a sponsor. This is my second season, and I'm looking forward to being a sponsor in the third season, my third season. It's been such a pleasure. I didn't realize the power of the voice, and sitting in the audience and listening to the 8 amazing women that I've had the opportunity to hear over the 2 years. They have moved me, they've inspired me, and they've empowered me to do more, to reach higher, and to reach out and beyond myself. These evenings have also become such a treasure for me because it's turned into a mother-daughter experience where my teenage daughter will come to these and listen to the speakers, and what she takes away each night and what she's growing from is the expanding of her awareness of the world, and it's strengthening and helping her to find who she is and where her personal power lies as she grows into the society and the culture and the city and the world around her. So these amazing women lend hope to us, and they help us to become active participants in the world all around us. I'd like to take a moment too, before I introduce Angelique. I'd also like to thank Francine for her vision and the power in bringing all these amazing women to our city. Although being an entrepreneur is often very fun and rewarding because you don't have a boss telling you what to do, I know from personal experience that owning a business can be a very lonely and thankless job. So I wanted to take a minute as we close up this year's season, and I've heard a little bit, every time I hear a little more of all the things that she does, and it just astounds me. So Francine, for all the sleepless nights, for the giving of yourself and your personal resources, for caring about every little detail of our experience as we sit here, as we have our supper club, and as we get to have our meeting of the speakers. Thank you. Thank you for the endless hours you contribute and making Voices happen. So tonight brings us a powerful singer and timeless performer, Angelique Kidjo. She's been one of the most successful performers to emerge on world music stages in the 1990s and 2000s. Her music not only draws from American traditions, but also interprets ways those traditions developed after Africans were seized and taken to the New World. Thus, elements developed after thus, elements of American soul, funk, rap, jazz, Brazilian samba, Jamaica reggae, Cuban and Puerto Rican salsa, all of that she incorporates and shows up in her recordings, along with various African styles. She sings in 4 languages and has worked with many of the world's finest musicians, including Joss Stone, Peter Gabriel, and Ziggy Marley. Angelique made her debut at the young age of 6 with her mother's dance troupe, and in the late 1970s, she formed a new band and recorded an album. In 1980, Angelique found that her musical activities were restricted by a new leftist regime that took power in Benin and tried to force her to record political anthems. She fled to Paris in 1983 with the intent of studying law there and become a human rights lawyer. But she realized that she was not cut out for the political life. She shares, "I decided I would try to touch poor people with my music." In 2002, Angelique was appointed as a Goodwill Ambassador to UNICEF and used her voice and her influence to reach people worldwide to discuss some of the major issues affecting people of Africa: the spread of AIDS, HIV, poverty, hunger, and conflict of war in places such as Darfur. Angelique has also started her own foundation, the Batanga Foundation, to help and fund and support education for young girls in Africa. Ms. Kajo, who first won a Grammy back in 2008 for her 8th studio album, Jin Jin, won the 2015 Crystal Award in a ceremony opening the 45th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum held in Davos, Switzerland in January 21st. At the 57th Annual Grammy Awards, Angelique won her 2nd Grammy for her 2014 album Eve in the World Music category, saying, "Music is a weapon of peace, and today, more than ever, as artists, we have a role to play in the stability of this world." Please welcome Angelique Kidjo.